Greetings and welcome to another video by Sir Mike the Hedge Knight. I want to talk about the Targaryens today. I use the term fire team synonymous with the Targaryens, so apologies in advance if I'm saying fire team this, fire team that, as opposed to Targaryens. I am aware there are other characters that it can inflict fire. I know Beric Dondarrion is one. If his special hits critically, he inflicts every enemy with fire. That's extremely powerful, but very unreliable. You don't always get those critical hits. And if you don't get those critical hits, then he's not really contributing to the cause. So, one overall note before we go character for character here. If you take a look, there's not a lot of stars here. So, while fire teams are a little bit difficult to build, and this is why a lot of people have trouble in the Pit of Daznak, the Great Pit of Daznak, there's a lot that can be said for a team where a couple of 2 stars and a common and an epic. And now, granted, Daenerys is 4 star, nothing to sneeze at. I just recently got her to 4. This team did fairly well with her at 3, got a little bit of a bump at 4. But we have a couple of 2 star legendaries in there, and these are legendaries that you're going to be able to get through the egg event, through event token summons, and through rewards from ranking well in the event as well. So this is not a difficult team to put together. It punches above its weight. It has a pretty good amount of success, and it's not going to require a lot of spending or any spending, and not going to require a lot of in-game resources. So let's jump right in. Let's start looking at some of the characters. Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons. There are 3 Dannys in the game now, so we'll refer to her as Red Dany. We're all pretty familiar with Red Dany. She's got the worst stamina speed in the game, very slow. We'll see in a couple seconds her passive ability enables her to gain some stamina, so maybe she's a little more like a slow. Still, not fast by any means. She hits all enemies for 20%, not so great. However, if they are afflicted with fire, for each fire, she does another 34%. 10 stacks of fire, that's 340%. That is going to pack a wallop. Dany is the nuke. Dany is the nuke. You don't want to be using her skill when your enemies have no fire on them, because that is a waste. So we sometimes get excited when the character's portrait gets big. Hey, their skill's ready. Let's go use it. Well, Daenerys, once in a while, tactically, you're going to have to hold back until you get some more fire on your enemies, because she's only going to get that skill off a couple times per combat anyway, due to her very slow speed. So we want to maximize our damage output. We want to have as much fire on our opponents as possible before she fires off that nuke. She will be the leader of the team. She applies a fire to all enemies to start. We get off to a good start. If she critically hits an opponent with her skill, she'll add some more fire. That you can't really rely on it. Critical hits are 10%. It often seems like it's a lot less. It's nice when it happens, not something we're going to rely on. However, anytime an enemy is afflicted with fire, she gains 5% stamina. So that's going to turn her very slow speed maybe into more of a slow, because passively she can gain some stamina. The next 2 characters we're going to talk about, Rhaenyra and the Green Alicents, are only available when the egg event rolls around. At this point, that's every 4 weeks. There's rumors of a 5th and possibly 6th event coming out, which could further dilute the opportunities that you'll have to get these characters, but they're only generally available using event tokens, the event summons. So, Rhaenyra Targaryen, normal speed skill, that's average. 50% attack fire damage to all enemies is okay. It does seem to be a little bit light. She's a little bit of a light hitter, maybe because I've only got her at 2-star. However, she puts fire on every enemy. In addition, if the enemy has a buff, she has a 75% chance of not only removing the buff, but when she removes a buff, she adds a second fire. The goal of our team is to add fire, get up to 8, 9, 10 stacks of fire. So there is a chance she can, it's a double whammy. She can get rid of someone's taunts, get rid of someone's renew, and give them a second fire. So that can be very powerful. I know some players like her leadership ability, but we're using Red Daenerys as our leader, so I'm going to skip right over that. Her passive's okay. Anytime she receives a buff, she has a 50% chance of triggering a power-up. I mean, it's good, but we're not a buff-heavy team. We have a little bit of ability on critical heals to apply renew to our allies, so this may trigger here and there. Again, it's nothing I'd rely on. It's nice when it happens. The Green Alicent Hightower, not to be confused with the Blue Alicent Hightower, who is a member of the Greens family. Not confusing at all. Her skill is normal speed, that's average. She hits all enemies with fire. Well, that's what our theme is. That's what we're trying to accomplish. She has a single target heal for 25% of her attack, with a bonus heal, 35% of her attack, as a triage bonus. They don't really explain or show the calculation of how the triage works. The basic idea is the lower your target's hit points are, the more effective the heal will be. That's as best as I can explain it. Her passive skill is okay. When an ally is debuffed, there's a 25% chance to remove a debuff from that ally. Note that it doesn't say the debuff that's incoming. So it could be a different debuff. It triggers fairly infrequently. It's nice when it happens, but not why we are playing this character. The Dragonstone Mender. He is a common. I'm not too big on commons. I like my legendaries. However, the nice thing with commons is you're acquiring their shards without even knowing it. You may have to dig deep in your roster to even find this guy if you haven't used him before, and you may discover you've got him at 4, 5, 6 stars. Perhaps you haven't enhanced him yet because you haven't used him, but it only takes a little bit of bread to do so. The other nice thing with these commons is it's easy to level up their skills as they get up in stars. Here he is at 6 stars. I've gotten his skill all the way up to level 7. I mean, you could see even below, it doesn't even require expert skill books yet. So you can boost their abilities relatively cheaply in terms of books. What does he do? He's got a slow skill. He's a healer, so slow is, well, it's better than very slow, right? I don't know if there are any healers in the game that are even at normal speed. He heals everyone for 11.5%. He can critically heal, which is going to come into play more when we get to the Meister, the final member of the team. I assume a critical heal is like a critical strike of a skill, probably triggers at 10%. And there's a 90% chance he'll remove a debuff from each ally, that can be extremely helpful as well. But what makes the Mender special is his passive. When an enemy is afflicted with fire, the Mender has a 50% chance to apply an additional fire. Now that 50% triggers at 6 star. Below that, I believe it's 40%. Perhaps at 1 or 2 star, it's even less, but you're going to have him at, well, more than one. If he's at 1 star, find someone else for the team. Pinch hitter time. So, how is this? There's an RNG, certainly some RNG. Some combats he's going to trigger a lot, some combats he's not going to trigger much, but he can even trigger on Dany's leadership ability. So instead of enemies starting with 1 fire, you're going to see that some of your enemies, sometimes all of your enemies, they're going to start with 2 fire. That is tremendous. That is why we use the Mender. The overall theme of the team is we're playing keep away. We're adding fire to our enemies. We're using Dany as a nuke. We're letting the fire do the damage, and then we just need to stay alive. So we've got Green Allison doing some healing, and we've got the Mender doing some healing, and we're going to see our next character is going to do some healing as well. The Dragonstone Meister. He is an epic, so he's probably buried on your roster somewhere. A couple of moments ago, I said I wasn't aware of healers in the game with normal or faster speed. I learned something today. I stand corrected. Normal speed, very good for a healer. It's a single target heal for 82% of his attack, and it gives them taunt for 4 turns. And you got to be really, really careful here. You have to resist your instincts to take that really wounded character and heal them with the Meister. Because if you heal a wounded character that's very, very low, and you put taunt on them for 4 turns, they are going to get absolutely obliterated by the AI. You're going to kill them faster with this heal. So tactically, what I generally do with this is I use it for the taunt rather than the heal. I put it on Daenerys. She's a 4-star legendary. She's got more hit points, higher defense than the rest of the team, even if she's at full health or very close to full. So I'm wasting some healing points. I get it. But I need to distract the enemy with the taunt, keep it off of my wounded character, and I can afford to do that. We can afford to do this because we got 2 other healers on the team in the Mender and Green Allison. Let them heal the wounded character. This skill can critically heal and has a bonus 7% critical strike chance. So whereas most characters' critical strikes are 10%, the Meister is at 17. His passive is exceptional. When another ally Targaryen, we're all Targaryens, it's an all Targaryen team. When an ally Targaryen is damaged by a skill, the Meister heals them for 15% of his attack. This is a passive heal. This mitigates damage done by incoming enemy skills. It costs you nothing. And it can critically heal. But wait, there's more. Anytime an ally is critically healed by a skill, which includes our Mender, he can critically heal, the Meister grants them a renew. We love renew, right? And afflicts a random enemy with fire. Now we're not counting on this fire. That last little piece about the fire, I think that kicks in at 4-star. It's nice when it happens, though. It's nice when it happens. The fifth member of our team is the fifth color of our team. It is a rainbow team. That is always an advantage. You're not going to ever wind up with a board of gems you can't use. And what I should have started with when I started talking Targaryens is, what do the Targaryens do? They play with fire, and when they play with fire, our enemies get burned. Fire will do 50% more damage. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about Targaryens that I'm not using. There's a lot of buzz about the Cerys Targaryen, specifically for the egg event, so I'll get into it a little more in a couple days when I make my egg event video. I believe that's coming up this week. I think the buzz about him is his passive skill, where every 3 turns he puts fire on himself and on 2 random enemies, 3 random enemies if you get him up to 4-star. The buzz is that he's an easy button for the egg event. So I don't know. I don't have him. I kind of want to get him. I want to experiment with him. But that is a story for another day. The purple Kristen Cole, he also seems like a very good character. I've only got him at 1, so I haven't really experimented with him yet. He gives someone defense and applies a mark on them called Kristen's Charge, and then has a counter whenever they get damaged. He's hitting them. Sounds pretty good. Additionally, when they use their skill, once they've got the Kristen's Charge mark on them, Kristen will sacrifice his stamina to give them stamina. So whoever he puts his Kristen's Charge mark on, they'll get to use their skill a lot more frequently. And at 4-star, he starts also applying fire. Well, if you've got him at 4, great. Perhaps you work him into the team. Anything under 4, he's not applying fire and he's not healing, and I can't use him. That's not the synergy on this team. Grey Worm seems like a very good character as well. He is the Targaryen Ned Stark. Now he's got an allied bonus with Daenerys, so that's always helpful. He hits, unlike Ned, who's a single target attacker, he hits all enemies for 75%, and then he taunts for 5, and while he's taunting, if he gets hit by a skill, he has a 75% chance to apply fire to his attacker. That would be good synergy. This team needs a protector, it needs a taunter other than using the Meister's taunt, and our theme is applying fire. He actually does apply some fire. His passive, he's got an HP guard at 50% and might hit somebody with fire. I mean, that, not really why you're using him. So seems like a very good character. I would love to have him at 2, 3, or 4-star to see if I could work him in. Now, I want to take our fire team into the Great Pit of Daznak. Unfortunately, we're just not going to win this fight. I'm sort of stuck at this level. And it's not because the enemy is so much stronger than us, and they are. Their power rating's well over 100,000 more than us, but we hit above our weight. But it's because they have Stannis. And anytime Stannis kills one of his opponents, he removes 3 debuffs from all of his allied Baratheons. So we're going to get 4, 5, 6 stacks of fire on him. He picks off, let's say, Rhaenyra. Now their fire's down to 1, 2, or 3. We're in trouble. He kills another member of our team, and they're out of fire. And we're just not going to win a slugfest in this game against a team with 100,000 or more power above your power rating of your team. But let's get in there. Let's see if we can at least illustrate the potential of what this fire team can do. Well, the power rating of the opponent is about 180,000 higher than us. So we're really not supposed to win. And I can pretty much guarantee that we're not going to, but we're troopers. We're going to go in there and we're going to give it our best anyway. So for now, we're just matching some gems. You'll notice that the green enemy on the left started with 2 fire, so the Mender did trigger on Dany's leadership skill. Didn't get him from both, but at least we started one enemy with 2 fire. Oh, that's a nice, we could set up a little bomb here. Red's always good for us. Red is our strongest character. Gonna match that, do a little double match there. All right, we've got our first skill. Let's add some fire. Let's hope the Mender triggers. Looks like he did not. We went from 2 and 1 fire to 3 and 2, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But no worries, we've got Alicent coming up. Now let's hope we get a little better luck with her. I'm going to use her heal on Rhaenyra. And let's apply some fire to our enemies. Oh, looks like we got a Mender trigger, so now the enemy's at 4 and 4. Pretty good, pretty good. Of course, the real problem is going to be when we get to the next level. Now, with Daenerys, I don't see Rhaenyra or Alicent being ready anytime soon. Let's fire off her nuke. Not as much of a nuke. There's only 4 fire on the opponent. Well, it's pretty good against green though. And she hit a critical, so even more fire was put on. And we are down to 1. We are down to 1, and he's got a lot of fire. So I'm almost tempted here. I mean, the heals were always going to fire off. I'm almost tempted here not to use Rhaenyra. Let's go ahead and use her to add some more fire. Because you really want to go into that second wave with your skills ready to go, at least your fire skills. Let's get the taunt on Dany. And I think at this point, the fire is going to take this guy out. I think we want to get yellow and green. We want to build up our yellow and green. We want to get yellow and green ready. This match doesn't hurt them, but I mean, he took 4,400 damage just from the fire. Perfect. Don't see a lot of green. Unfortunately, we don't see a lot of green here. So we're not fully prepared to go into this final level. I do like that there's a blue here. Big blue down there. Oof. Well, we're almost ready. If only Alicent was ready, we'd really be in good shape. Let's fire off our Mender. Let's use our Meister on Daenerys just for the taunt. Let's get Rhaenyra. Let's hope the Mender triggers. Looks like there's a trigger on Davos and possibly Melisandre. Yep, got a couple of them at 2 fire. All right, I mean, this isn't great, but we got to do damage where we can. Daenerys does a little bit of damage. It's a good start, and boy, I really like these 5 across. But we got to set up a bomb here too. We're getting some good gems. We're getting some good gems. So if there was ever a chance, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. Let's fire off the Mender. Dany's a little beat up. We're going to heal her with Alicent, also applying some fire. Looks like Stannis went up to 4. The Mender triggered. We're going to use the Meister also on Dany. I mean, it's Dany, right? And now we're just going to do what we can. We've got another one of those big blues down there. Well, the more healing we can get, the better. We also have it with a yellow, trying to get Rhaenyra to go off one more time, if possible. Let's go ahead and trigger that blue. That's going to trigger a little cascade of red. Let them in. Boy, Dany is not doing. See what I was saying about that taunt? When you put taunt on someone, boy, they take a beating. Well, we're doing what we can here. We're going to stay alive as long as we can. We've got some good fire. 5, 5, and 4. We've done some good damage. If only Stannis didn't have that ability, I think we'd be successful here. This is a team with 180,000 power, higher than us. 7 fire on Melisandre. How do we get? We need to get a bunch of greens here. I mean, we have some greens set up. Are we going to live that long is the question. Let's see if we can at least get Alicent to go. And there's the problem. So someone goes down, and all that beautiful fire, everything that we worked for, now we're down to 4 on Melisandre, 3 on Stannis, 1 on Davos, and that's gonna be our undoing. And it's unfortunate. We were having a really good run here, and this is just a really bad matchup for this team. Yep, another member goes down. The fire's gone. I mean, Melisandre somehow still has 3. I'm stunned it's even that high. And we really had a shot here. I mean, we've got Stannis below half. We've got Davos almost dead. Melisandre was at half. And that is that. Well, we gave it a good run. For a team with 180,000 power above our own, I don't think you can complain with the fact that at least we were competitive. Here. I hope that you'll find that this illustrates the potential of this team, and it explains why a team with a couple of 2-star legendaries and some common and epic guy that you probably never heard of, they crossed level 50 in the tower. I mean, this team can get it done. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to comment below, and we will see you soon.